Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is lukemick here. As always, I hope you are all doing as well as you possibly can. I am making this video in response to one of my previous videos, a pretty recent one, the Criterion Flash Sale shopping, perusing, hunting video, the one that I posted very recently. If you watch the videos, you know what I'm talking about. In that video, I asked you to leave some comments if you wanted to see what I ended up picking up during the sale, because quite frankly, I wasn't planning on making this video, but enough of you expressed interest and did not want the cliffhanger of never knowing what I actually purchased from my shopping cart, so I'm making this video because you all wanted to see it. So why don't you give yourselves a round of applause for making this video happen, because without you
wouldn't be watching it right now.
So that's that. Now let me grab the box. It's sitting up here on the shelf. Give me one moment. Okay, so at this point in time, it's been about 2 weeks since I actually received my package, and admittedly, I did open it right away. So I was just gonna show you them, like, without a box, but I found this box sitting around upstairs in the living room from Christmas time or something, and I thought, you know, that's pretty.
That's a nice looking prop.
Why don't I use it for the video and make it a little more exciting? So, yeah, we have this beautiful little box here with a nice red ribbon and a little jangly reindeer bell. Let's get into this. Let's open this box up. The last film that I show you will be the one that I actually watched since opening the package, and I'll give you a soft, light, easygoing review of that film. So let's get into this. So right off the top, the beginning of the box here, we have none other than Bobette's Feast. Now, this is actually a film that, the only film that I had in the shopping cart that I've previously seen. As I said in my previous video, I saw this film in high school in my AP Euro class. That would have been several years ago now, and it's a Danish film about food and about having guests, and I don't really remember anything about it. And I gotta say, by looking at the back here, I didn't realize this film was from 1987. It's a lot more recent than I would have expected. My memory for this film wanted to place it in the 60s or 70s, so a bit more modern than I thought it was, which is not an issue, and it's also not a great thing. It's neither of those. It's just something in the middle. I don't even know why I had to say that. It doesn't matter when it's from, because it's probably going to be an enjoyable film on my rewatch. At least I hope it is. I hope it doesn't disappoint me. I don't really remember it. You know, it wasn't a very exciting, important moment in high school for me, watching Bobette's Feast, but yeah, that's Bobette's Feast. Next up here is Cold Water, directed by Olivier Assayas. In my previous video, My Life You Watched It.
He sung a song last night or whatever.
I said that I've been watching a few of his films lately and I'm interested in seeing more, so I went ahead and bought Cold Water, not knowing much about it. I know it's a coming-of-age film from the 90s. Now on the back here, it does say that the centerpiece of this film is one of the most memorable party sequences ever committed to film. It'll be hard to beat Project X, I'll tell you that. Just kidding. Project X is a pretty shitty movie. I don't have very much else to say about this film because I have not seen it, and I don't know too much about it. You probably heard the jingle bell over there when it landed on top of Bobette's Feast. That's what's kind of weird about this video, is because I feel like I already talked about these films, and I can't really rehash what I already said about them. But the last film that I have here, the third and final one I bought during the sale, is a film that I watched and I will talk about a little bit. That is The Comfort of Strangers, directed by Paul Schrader. The first thing I have to point out about this, well, the first thing I will point out about it, but not the thing I have to point out, is that I love this cover. Just a lot of oozy green stew coming out. What is this? It's like a cup of tea with flowers on it with like a green stench oozing out. But something I do have to complain about, a bit of a cosmetic issue here with this case from Criterion directly. It's going to be hard to tell, so I'll pull it out here, but hopefully the camera and the lighting can pick it up. But as you can see, there you go. This looks really wrinkly, right? This is something that if I would have seen it at Barnes & Noble, because I'm a nitpicky guy about my Blu-rays and everything, I wouldn't have bought it because it looks like it got a bunch of moisture in it, or someone, no, I doubt anyone dipped it in water, but it looks like it got a little bit wet. dried and got a little warped. So anyway, The Comfort of Strangers. I watched this film, and I want to talk just a little bit about it. It stars Christopher Walken, Natasha Richardson, Rupert Everett, who I don't know if I had ever seen in a film before, and Helen Mirren. So it has a very recognizable cast, and it's about a young couple played by Rupert Everett and Natasha Richardson as they are in Italy. Where are they in Italy? It tells me on here. I know it. It just has to. They're just a couple that are trying to get back into the swing of their relationship while vacationing in Venice. And they come across a man, a very well-off, wealthy-looking man played by Christopher Walken, who leads them to this sort of mysterious bar one night.
And
Basically forces them to listen to this monologue he gives about his mother, his father, his life, his siblings, and it's very strange, and it's a really compelling piece of writing and a very compelling performance from Christopher Walken. And from there, they feel that they're being watched, being stalked, there are photographs being taken of them. The whole film has this very interesting, mysterious aura around it, and the city of Venice, the way it's portrayed in this film, is very empty and kind of haunting. The tone and mood of the film is very off-putting, and the score actually is done by none other than Angelo Badalamenti of Twin Peaks fame, of course. I haven't seen many other films that he has composed the score for other than David Lynch stuff, but it's very different in this film. There are a lot of Eastern influences in not only his music, but also in the set design and just the art direction of the film in general. The characters are quite cold. It feels somewhat difficult to connect with these characters because they just seem so incompatible. It almost felt like the characters in David Cronenberg's Crash, another film I watched pretty recently. The characters and the way that they would communicate and act towards each other felt very similar in that way. But I think that the strongest aspects of this film are the cinematography, the very weird setting, and the uneasiness created by the setting. And Christopher Walken's performance is really interesting. He has this very strange Italian Christopher Walken mixed accent. He's a very threatening, imposing, but somewhat polite man, and you never really know, like, what is he getting at? Like, why is he so interested in this young couple? And his wife, the character of his wife, is played by Helen Mirren. She's a little bit underutilized, in my opinion. Her character doesn't have too much to do in this film, but Helen Mirren, I think, really plays well off of the sort of bizarre approach to the character that Christopher Walken also takes. Natasha Richardson and Rupert Everett, or is that his name? Yeah, Rupert Everett. They're both fine. They're both pretty good. And where the film really just starts to go downhill for me is once we reach the climax and the end of the film, because I felt like it didn't play out in a way that I thought was very interesting. I thought it was pretty standard fare for this type of film. I thought it was going to surprise me with some deeper theme or message in the end. Throughout the film, we do get little hints and little tidbits of these pretty tense moments of political disagreement and this sort of passive aggressiveness as to what it means to be a man. There were a lot of interesting things partially being explored throughout, and once the finale of the film happened, I felt like it didn't take all those themes and turn it into something to think about. It just ended like any other movie would end. So the end of the film kind of left a bad taste in my mouth because I felt like I had invested my time in this strange trip and I was expecting it to have some sort of rewarding, more thought-provoking ending, but it just didn't have that. So because of the bad taste that the film left in my mouth at the end, I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. I've thought a lot about it over the last couple of weeks as to what I was going to say exactly about this film, and I feel pretty confident in what I just explained to you all. So that's everything I bought during the Criterion Flash Sale that happened at the end of February. Let me know down below what you all bought or what you wish you bought or things that you wanted to buy that were out of stock. In my last video, I have to address this. I said at the beginning I really wanted to get All That Jazz with Roy Scheider. Never even added it to the cart. I totally skipped over it in that video. I did go back for it though, but it was not in stock. Unfortunately, it was on back order, or I don't think it would even let me purchase it. So that's kind of a bummer. I did not get All That Jazz. That was one I really wanted to grab during the sale. But, you know, I can always grab it in July when Barnes & Noble has their annual sale. So anyway, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more content like this, Criterion-related content, Blu-ray-related content, film content in general, subscribe to the channel, like this video. It would really help a guy out, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you for watching.